Hey everybody, what's up? This is Ryan, and this is the first episode of a brand new podcast called the FBA Podcast. And here, when you're listening to this, I hope to teach you exactly what I'm doing and what other expert Amazon sellers are doing to take their FBA business to the next level. And so this is episode 1. But before I get into episode 1, before I get into all of this strategies and storylines and all this stuff, I just want you to know that I'm brand new to this. I'm brand new to podcasting, and you can even watch these through the video version too online. And you can see that that this is new. And if you're watching me right now, you might be like, "Hey, it looks uncomfortable." It is. It's very uncomfortable because I've got a video camera in front of me, and I've got this audio microphone in front of me, and I'm inexperienced with both. And I could just shut it down and I could edit the heck out of this thing so it makes me look like a professional, but I'm not. Look, I sell products on Amazon. I'm really good at it. Video and audio editing is not my strong suit. So please forgive me for what this looks like. I want you to know that I'm just a regular person like you, and that you can have the same success and more than what I've had on Amazon. And so I'm going to keep this real. This podcast is going to be unedited. It's just going to be one take, one and done type of thing. And I want to provide you with real advice so that you can take your business to the next level. And so with that, as kind of this, with that as this overarching disclaimer to this first podcast, I would like to say that I am going to get better, and I'm committed to getting better. So stick with me, and these will only get better. This is episode 1, but as they continue, it'll all get better. So let's start this episode with what I'm doing here. Why am I here? Let's start with why. Why am I here? Why put together this podcast? Who am I anyway? And why can I provide value to you in this space of there's a lot of people out there talking about Amazon. Why can I provide value? Why should you listen to me in the first place? And here's the reason. Because I'm new to private labeling products, and I'm going to walk you along my journey. We're going to walk together as I create my private label product. I take it from finding a manufacturer all the way to putting it on Amazon. I'm going to take you along the journey with me, telling you what my product is, telling you where you can find it online, telling you everything, telling you, what emails am I sending to manufacturers. Everything's going to be disclosed to you so that you can follow along, and then we can share in our experience together. And look, this is a conversation. I plan to learn as much from you as I hope you are learning from me, because maybe you're like, hey Ryan, this is a different thing that I'm doing with my product and it's really working. Well, great, we should have a conversation and talk about that, because I believe that the more people we have talking about Amazon's FBA program, the better it is for all of us actually. And so that's why I want to start this, because this is a conversation. It's not a lecture. This is just my experience, but I want to take you right along the way. And what's different about that? Well, there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of YouTube channels and all this stuff about these experts and these gurus. And what they say is that, if you follow me, you can make millions and millions of dollars every month selling products on Amazon. Well, okay. I don't know what their product is. I don't know for sure they even know what they're talking about. And I don't really feel connected with them, because here I am, I make about, in gross sales between $5,000 and $10,000 a month. And that's very easy to do. As a little side note, I believe that it's very easy to do on Amazon. But that's where I'm at right now as a seller. I'm pretty good at that. And now as I go forward expanding, it's hard for me to think about selling $1 million a month in product. That's crazy. I don't identify with them. Their business looks totally different than my business. And so the reason for this podcast, the reason I can provide value in this space about Amazon FBA, is because this is a journey that you can travel with me, whether it's right now, whether it's a year from now. If you're new to this podcast, I'm going to say, hey, go to episode 1 and go through the journey with me. And you'll see how inexperienced I am right now, and how I'm just taking this leap of faith and trying to put together, trying to put together a podcast when I'm not really 100% certain it's going to be, technically sound, is a lot like starting your FBA product when you're not exactly certain it's going to sell. And so hopefully you can see through me and through this podcast the inexperience, but that's what we have to embrace when we're starting off. You have to take that leap of faith. And so anyway, to make that long, drawn-out point shorter, I'll say this. I'm beginning, and I hope to create this podcast so that anybody who's ever trying to begin has a resource they can use to start their FBA business. So I'm going to grow along with you. Now, why am I doing this in general? Why is FBA, why does it hit home, and who am I in the first place? Well, I'll just give you a little brief background to me as who I am and what I'm doing here. And, I hope that more of my backstory and personality will come out in future episodes, or, if you email me, we can talk further about some of that stuff, because, I'm a real person. And although we've never, shaken hands yet, I would love to shake your hand and have a conversation with you. I know that you have to find real people to do business with and to trust out there. And so I just want to tell you that, hey, I'm a real person, just like you. So here we go. My story, basically, is this. About a year and a half ago, I was finishing up my second master's degree in education. And my first master's degree was in theology, and my second one was in education. And so I'm heavily in debt, tons of student debt. And my buddy told me, hey, Ryan, look, there's this Best Buy that's closing. I'm going to head over there right now. Do you want to come with? I'll show you exactly what I'm doing to sell products on Amazon. And I was like, what are you talking about? You can sell products on Amazon. I had no idea what he was talking about. But I said, sure, I'll go. Maybe there's some good deals at Best Buy, and I'll look around and I'll hear what he has to say. And, in the car ride over, he told me how he was selling between $5,000 and $12,000 a month on Amazon. And he explained to me exactly what he was doing. And what he was doing was this. It's called retail arbitrage. And I'm going to get into this in the next episode. But he said, I'm going into stores where there's deep discounts, and I'm buying products, and then I'm relisting them on Amazon, and then I'm selling them. And I thought he was crazy. I mean, I honestly was like, well, okay, that's great, but a little weird. Why would anybody in the first place buy products on Amazon? Isn't Amazon always the lowest price in the world? And I think that's what a lot of people think about when you tell them about their Amazon business. So I went with them. We're in Best Buy, and I said, okay, fine. Well, there's these cameras there that were at 50% off. So these really nice GoPro cameras, and I actually have, if you're watching the video, they look like this. These were the ones that I bought. I kept a few of them for me. Okay. They're called drift cameras, 720p, all this stuff. So I kept two of them because I'm an action, I like to go out and attach video cameras to, my canoe or my kayak when I go rock climbing, that sort of stuff. So anyway, long story short, I buy a few of those cameras, I list them on Amazon, and overnight, literally within about 16 hours of purchasing them, I sold those, and I made about $600 in profit overnight. That was my first sales. It was multiple cameras. And from there, that was an aha moment. That was that moment when you're just like, oh my goodness, this is for real. Never before had I woken up to an email where I had made money at all, but let alone $600. I felt great. It was awesome. And so, I called up my buddy. I said, hey, what is this Amazon thing? What are you doing exactly? Can you teach me how to do it? And from there, we had mastermind groups, every Monday. We met regularly. He told me what I knew. He told me what he knew. And then I told him what I was figuring out about this Amazon thing, because he was still kind of new to it. And slowly but surely, over the next year, we grew our business. And we started to make good money. And if you go to FBApodcast.com, you can kind of see, I did a screen capture video about how to list a product on Amazon, and you can see it. There it is. I've sold, in that month that I have up there, just for your verification, I sold 186 products, and it was, about $5,000 plus in revenue when I shot that video. So, this is what I've been doing. Now, with that, I want to take that business to the next level. I'm not just there are pros and cons to retail arbitrage, to going into stores and finding products and then listing them on Amazon and selling them. It's a great way to make some money. But now I'm ready to take that business to the next level. And that's kind of where you meet me in my life, is where I'm just starting to learn about private labeling products and then, marketing them on Amazon and taking them to the next level and selling products. And if you're watching this on the video, you can see right now, I won't disclose what this product is. This is, I will disclose. What am I talking about? Why wouldn't I? This is I'm holding in my hand, for those of you who can't see, I'm holding a box that I received from China. This is my first sample that I ordered from China. And inside of it, it is a foot pedicure device. So I'll show you what this looks like. And I'm going to go into this in upcoming episodes. But here it is. Okay, this is what I ordered. This is a sample that I received from China. And so this is a product that potentially I'm going to list on Amazon. And I'm going to talk about in this podcast, how I started to research that and how I found the manufacturer. And now I'm not to the point where I'm listing it on Amazon, but that's why I started this podcast right now, because I wanted to take you along for the journey. So I have the prototype from the manufacturer, and now I'm getting ready to list it. And I thought, whoa, hold up, Ryan, hold on. This is where you need to start a podcast so that other people who are in the same boat as you are can learn alongside you as you take your product on there. And I've got other ideas for products that I'm going to go forward with too. And I still have a little bit of research to do on this foot scrubber dealy. Dealy, that's a technical term. I still have research to do on this foot scrubber, and so I'm going to figure out if that's a product I want to list as well. But that's where I'm at in the process. And so that's my story. I'm doing this to get out of debt. I'm doing this because I want to spend more time with my family. And to be honest with you, I'm doing this because a plane crashed into my now wife, at the time it was my fiance's house. So a plane literally crashed into her house. And this is where the podcast is going to get kind of sentimental and deep, but I won't stay there too long. That moment changed my life. She's okay. The pilot and the passenger did not make it out alive. But that moment, the fact that can happen to people and that it hit so close to home for me, that changed my life. And I'm not going to talk about it too much here on the podcast. It's if maybe I will in a future episode or post or something like that. But suffice it to say this, like, life is short, and if you want something, you got to go get it. And I want financial freedom from my debt. I want to be able to live a life where I pick the schedule. And if you keep doing what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. And I'm ready to start taking control of my life, taking control of my schedule, taking control of my finances. And FBA is the best way I know how right now to begin. And so that's kind of where I'm at with this podcast. And again, I don't mean to go get real deep on you real quick, but I wanted you just to know, hey, that's my why, because I want to be able to invest in relationships, my family, my friends. I want to have that freedom. If I have children someday, I want to be able to have that freedom to raise them in a job that allows me the flexibility to spend time with them. And so those are my whys, and I'm sure that'll come up a lot more in the future podcasts. Just the fact that those are my whys, that's why I'm doing this. But I wanted to share that too with you at the outset of this podcast. So, okay, let's go away from there now. What to expect, and this is the last thing I just want to touch on before episode 1 is in the books. So, what to expect? Well, number one, I'm going to go back and watch this episode and listen to this episode and make the changes necessary so that episode 2 is high quality. Hopefully the audio sounds okay. I don't really know how it sounds right now, but I'm not going to go back and and really edit it a whole lot so that it sounds like, I don't know. I honestly don't even know where I would go with that analogy, but I'm not going to go back and edit that. I want it to be real, like I said at the outset of the show, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put this out there. Episode 2 is going to be a lot better. Episode 3 is going to be better than that. I played football in college, and my coach always said, when you teams improve the most between games 1 and games 2, and I believe that. I think that this podcast is going to be no exception. I think that I'm going to improve the most between episodes 1 and episodes 2. So stick with me for episode 2. What to expect in that episode? I don't know how long it's going to go. I'm going to record for as long as I can provide you with value that you can take action on. But here's what the topic is going to be, and here's what the topics are going to be going forward. The first thing I want to cover, and I always want to be able to come back to this, is retail arbitrage. Look, it's how I got started. It's been phenomenal. It's something I still do. And I want people to have a resource to go to that is concise enough that they can digest it in one audio listening, and then they can go and take action on it. I told this to one of my friends. I taught him how to do retail arbitrage. He actually quit his job a month later because he was pulling in about $20,000 gross sales in a month. And I just want that resource there. I have another friend who I'm teaching to do it, and he won't take the leap. He won't go out and do it. He just can't overcome the hurdle emotionally of like taking the risk. And I'm sure, we all know how that feels. So I want to create this resource. So the episode 2 is going to be the resource that I always want to point people back to say, hey, this is how you do retail arbitrage. It's a great way to get started. And so hopefully you'll listen to it and take action on it. And then in the next episodes after that, I'm going to dive into what I'm doing to start my private label and wholesale business. Not to say that I'm not doing retail arbitrage anymore. I think retail arbitrage is a great way to continually generate funds that you can allocate elsewhere, maybe in your private label business, maybe in your pay-per-click advertising, in different areas of your business. But I think the fun for me is going to be in creating that private label product and creating a brand around it that I can continually sell to my audience, to people who want it, and provide value to them. And so that's what I'm going to be up to in the other episodes. Now I've got a few interviews lined up, and I'm working on bringing on the person who taught me FBA as well, so that you can get his opinion. He's doing some really interesting things, and I'll let him, if he wants to disclose, what areas he's in, he can certainly do that. But I do want you to know that this podcast is going to be different because I'm going to take you along with me. I want to show you exactly what I'm doing so that we can learn together. And if you have any questions, go over to the website, go over to FBApodcast.com, and that's where you can actually you can actually ask questions, and I'll answer those on some upcoming shows. I've already got about 10 questions so far that I'm filtering through. And I've got some great answers for upcoming episodes on there. So if you have questions, what are you struggling with? What is the most difficult technical thing? What's the most difficult emotional thing? And how can we as Amazon FBA sellers overcome that? Let's talk about that over at FBApodcast.com. So I'm there for a resource. Look, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love to hear from you guys, and I answer all emails that come through. So please go over to the website, listen to the next podcast. I don't really know how iTunes reviews work right now, but go leave me a review. That'd be kind of sweet. To get some reviews on this show. And let's just have fun with it. Let's just have fun and grow businesses and achieve our whys. Achieve what we want out of life. Because again, life is too short. You got to take massive action, and you've got to be productive in following through on your dreams. So that's it for this first episode. If you've made it this far, thank you. I can't thank you guys enough for listening. And just to give me encouragement to keep going in these future episodes, I would love to hear from you. So if you go over to the website, if you send me an email, or if you leave me a review, I can't tell you how much that means to me personally, because it makes me know that there's people out there that I'm talking to, instead of this guy in his office and talking into a microphone and a video camera. So that's it for episode 1. Have a great day. Have a productive day. And I will see you in the next episode of the FBA Podcast. And as a special bonus, in the next episode, because I'm going to record it right now, actually, I'm going to explain why this office is so messy. And what I've been doing for the last month and a half. So that's what I got. We'll see you later. Peace. No, I can't end it on peace. That's weird. We'll see you guys later on the FBA Podcast. Take care.